Hey guys, so in this video I want to talk about a couple things. This is going to be a market update video. Today is September 8th, 2022. Now I want to talk about what exactly happened in the market today, why today was so important, why it was different from yesterday, and why today's basically the market today. It was a lot about fundamentals. And I feel like today's market is the perfect one to use for learning levels, for learning how I think the market's going to set up tomorrow, and basically anything from here on out. So without further ado, let's actually get into the video. So here on the screen, we're actually looking at the SPX. Now, SPX and SPY are the same stock. Um, let me correct myself. SPX is different from the S&P SPY. The SPX is a future. It's basically all I can say about it. The SPY is most likely what you're going to see on stock brokerages like Robinhood. You don't trade SPX on Robinhood. So we're going to go ahead and look at the SPY. That is a very commonly traded ETF. It is the S&P 500 ETF. So looking at the stock overall today, we actually kind of rallied, and we did have a huge sell-off intraday, and we're going to go ahead and talk about that. But the first thing we got to do is actually go ahead and get rid of these levels. So, wow, it's raining pretty hard outside. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Bad weather down here in Texas right now. So obviously the S&P 500, I always mention this a lot. The stock likes to trend upwards. Stock likes to trend upwards. It's what less I can say. Oh my god, it's raining super hard outside. I am so sorry. I'm not going to edit this video, so I guess you guys are going to have to deal with the annoying rain in the background. Hope that doesn't provide too much of a trouble for you guys. So anyways, let's go ahead and look at the stock. I always want to mark my high of the day, or high of the year, I guess you could say. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to get my trend line, horizontal line. I mark it at 476.44. If I can even get that close to the stop. 476.44. Jesus Christ, guys. I'm so sorry. The weather is super distracting. So now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mark that. And I'm also going to mark the low of this this day. Now we've been on a bull rally, looks like, for the past 2 days. Definitely very interesting to see. I'm going to go ahead and mark this low right here on this candle, the 9/6/2022 candle. So what can we see right here? We know for a fact that we were on a rally. We were breaking levels, and we were reaching highs, higher highs and lower lows. So I definitely want to mark out our levels. I'm going to mark this candle top level right here. Also, ironically, this level reaches and we do touch it. It looks like it's going to be the 438. I'm going to mark the 431 level. I remember the good old days when SPY touched 431. That was fun. I love playing the bull rally in the S&P 500. Definitely was a good line to play. I don't know why it's not letting me mark it. Okay, then I think it did. I'm going to mark this candle level right here at the very top. The 404.17. Oh, well, I actually need to have a horizontal line. Jesus Christ, guys. I am super sorry about the rain outside. I don't know if you guys can exactly hear it, but it's definitely annoying me. I'm going to mark this level right here, and I'm going to mark, I think that's enough for levels on the daily chart. So going ahead and go into the minute chart, what I do want to see is, I want to see how the stock ran at the beginning of the day. Now there is one method I do want to talk about. It is the red candle on open method. So usually people play calls on open if the first couple of candles is red and the SPY likes to dip. It is commonly referred to as like the dip and rip on the S&P 500. Actually, I think shout out to Manch Trading on Twitter. He actually is one of the I don't want to say he's a founder of this method, but he's definitely most known for this method. He has a public YouTube channel. I definitely recommend. God damn, I can't talk either. I definitely recommend checking him out. He's pretty good. So the first thing I want to do is also want to mark my low for the candle today. Looks like I went to 394.12. That's a very important level, guys, because we're also below the 400 level, but we're only barely below it. Oh no, actually 394. We're actually below it by a quick margin. Some nice rain ASMR for you guys. So I'm also going to want to mark the high. Now, I also forgot to mention that I also do like to mark my pre-market highs and my pre-market lows. So obviously open up intraday, we are at a low. Like we ran straight into our lows for the day. But I do want to mark the pre-market high of, looks like 398.75. That is it's a good level to look at. So we were touching between the 398 levels and the 394 levels. That is a $4 movement within itself. And we get the $4 movement before the market even opens. So first thing I want to mention, or I guess another thing I want to mention, is I want to mark the lows of these candles right here because it looks like they touch quite a few times. Touches right here, touch here, and a touch right here. So the second we break through opening market, we touched 394.12. That is our first level of resistance on the downside, first level of support on the upside. So we touched this level. It looks like we tried to touch it a couple times, couldn't break below it, so we started trending upwards. Now there was a huge spike in volume, 525,000 buy volume, buy and or sell, but it was more on the buy side. So we had a huge rip in the candle, followed by another bullish candle. Looks like we trended upwards pretty well. I'm gonna mark the next candle high. I'm gonna mark this high up here. So definitely looks like we kind of stagnated here, but we were touching our VWAP. As you can see right here is where we touched the VWAP. I don't know if you guys can see my cursor too well, but I am trying to make the best what I can do. So right here we touched the VWAP. We couldn't break below our VWAP, so we actually went above it and we actually bounced based off the VWAP alone. Was there a level here? I guess you could say there was one, but I'm going to go off the fact that we were touching VWAP and we bounced on it, especially because that line changes over time. I feel like it's very important to note. Now, what is the VWAP? The VWAP is the volume weighted average price. Very important. I recommend everyone have this line. Most traders do trade with this line. It's very important, don't get me wrong, but it's not essential to trading. You can trade without lines, and if it makes you feel overwhelmed, then don't use it by all means. However, I like to use it because I can spot things like this. This bounced off our VWAP, so we're very strong above the VWAP. Now, moving on from this, we did kind of trend sideways. I'm not going to mark the trend sideways, but there was opportunity from scalp here between this level and this level. Not necessarily huge amount of opportunity scalping on puts, but definitely more on the call side. You could scalp the calls. So the second we touched this level once, couldn't break it. I'm looking at the 390, whatever this level was. We touched this level once, couldn't exactly break it, but then the second we touch it again, we had some volume behind it, 170,000 volume, and we actually broke above it. So this next candle was actually 338,000 volume. We broke above it, and we started rallying towards the upside. Now we did go back down. We couldn't exactly touch our next level, so we went back down, and we actually bounced off of our EMA 21 line. Now it's pretty important, and it's pretty cool to see how we're actually trending upwards with our EMA lines right here. Each stock candle is, if it broke below the EMA lines, it bounced right above it. Now this is what I like to use the EMA lines because it actually shows me where the candles are in between. So for example, we broke below pretty easily between the 8 and what looks like 10 EMA line. We broke below these candles, like those EMA lines with that one red candle. However, we did have strong support on the 21 EMA, and that rallied us back up. We broke below our 8 and 10. We touched, once again, looks like we touched the 21 EMA, and we just went right back up. And eventually, the 8 and 10 became supports of their own. So what you could see is, hey, every time we broke below these two EMA lines, right here and right here, but we still were above our 21, that was a great place to play calls. Example, you could have played a call right here when we bounced down on this red candle. You could have played calls and made a significant amount of money. That was pretty good. Pretty good play. You could play calls right there, and you could have played calls above right here. Great opportunity for money to be made, especially using those EMA lines, 8, 10, 21. That's why I like to use them. They're very proficient for me. Now these lines may not work for you. They don't always work. So it works until it doesn't, basically. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool to see. Now you guys get to see what I look at and what I look for a lot of the times. And it's kind of basically how I look at it. It works like this a lot, in my opinion. Like, you'll find gems like that, and especially in a market that has a specific trend. Like, if the SPY is trending upwards and you see a break like that in the EMA lines, it's free money almost. The SPY is trending downwards and you see how the EMA line set up for the trend downwards, it's free money at that point, you know? Another thing I want to talk about is that we actually did end up breaking this line of resistance. It became support. We touched. It doesn't look like we touched this line much, other than right here at this candle. We kind of mostly trended with the EMA lines. Huge run in the bull market. Now I do want to talk about, we did try to touch and did actually break the 400 level. Looks like the line of resistance was 486. We couldn't exactly touch the, I think this level was 494. So almost 401. I think I mentioned in my chat room a couple days ago that it looks like the 401 level is a very important resistance level in the S&P 500. So we rejected the 486 and we bounced below our EMA lines. We kind of bounced above them and we broke below them again. Now, once again, this is a perfect example of it works until it doesn't. As you can see here, we trended below the EMA lines, but they actually kind of went stagnant. So as we went more to the top here, it kind of curled. However, earlier, as I said, it's kind of free money if these candles break below the EMA lines. I said it works until it doesn't. We're below the EMA lines right here. We're below the EMA lines right here, and it just doesn't work anymore. I guess you could say it kind of bounced up, but I don't know. It couldn't hold. And I'm going to talk about why that happens and why that is. Now, as you can see here, we start losing momentum and we start picking up some heavy sell volume, especially at the 11:09 minute candle. We picked up some heavy sell volume. And it's very important to know when these spikes in volumes come in, guys. Notice the hourly change in the market. Look, every hour, 15 and 30 minute change. So if we go ahead and look at the 10 o'clock or even the 10:01, we have a massive candle right here, and it actually trends downwards. So we actually trended down for about almost 6 minutes right there. But if we look at the hour change, the 30-minute change, the 15-minute change even. So if we look at the 30-minute change right here, we have some red candles. It goes down, but we actually break above that. I guess that was a bad example real quick. Moving on from that, always keep noted on what is happening, and when you see a spikes in volume, the 30-minute, the hourly candle, the 15-minute, the 5-minute. I'm a big advocate for trading on the 3-minute chart sometimes. Now, I also want to talk about the curl. This is something that is a method in quotation marks. It's a strategy. How effective is it? I've been on this trade so many times where I thought the stock was curling and it just ended up bouncing high or it broke way below. I'd give it a 50-50 shot that it's correct. You know, so always be careful. Look at your levels of what's going on right there. Now, the stock was curling, and you can see how it kind of stagnates a little bit halfway. I'm going to go ahead and draw a trend line. It kind of stagnates, and it trends sideways. Some can say it consolidated. We touched that 400 level, and we didn't want to try to retest it. We made a little pop trying to retest that level, but we didn't have enough volume. We didn't have enough support. And as you can see here, we didn't have enough volume for this. And then the next candle was just massive sell volume, 1.4 million sell volume. It was crazy. We stagnated and we started to curl down. Now, I do want to mark another level that I feel like is very important. I want to mark this level right here. So we broke down and we had some resistance right here and we started going back upwards. It was the, god damn it, I don't think I marked this, the 399.40. Is that what it was? I think it was. Some more rain. God damn. So anyways, we end up touching this level right here, and we touched it a couple times, and you know, we bounced off of it. We bounced, but we couldn't exactly break above this level. Now, this is a good sign of, you know, level trading. As we go into right here, we bounce, and eventually we just break below it. And the second we break below this level, we had some heavy volume come in. Now, when we break a level with heavy volume, I like to follow the trend that volume's going. So we broke this level with some heavy volume, and we actually just shattered through all the other levels. And the second we broke below the VWAP, there was no support. There was no more support there. I don't even care what kind of level we're looking at right here. We had no support going into the VWAP. So just insane momentum downwards, small pullback, insane momentum downwards. We did bounce off, looks like the 395, 395.30. We went to 395.05. Now the $5 increments on the SPY are also, in my opinion, very important. I'll talk a little bit more about that later in the video. So it looks like we bounced off the 395.05. We did start trending upwards. As you can see, we started trading below the EMA lines. If we want to look back before on our trend upwards, when we were trending upwards, we trend above the EMA lines. So every time you were below them, there was a good trend upwards. Up here, we started to curl. This was a switch. This was a change. I could argue that a switch was imminent because we were coming up at an 11 and a 30-minute candle, the hourly and 30-minute candle. So if the switch wasn't at 11, we could have saw a switch at 11:30 if we kept within the stagnant motion. Now it could have popped up or it could have popped down. Eventually, this looks like the switch was delayed, and we started popping downwards. Once again, curl method, guys. It's kind of weird. I don't like calling it out, but it is there. Let's see if I can draw on it. It looks like a... Oh, it looks like I can't draw. Anyways. Is there no pen? I want to draw a pen. That sucks. But anyways, we kind of curl. So we go up, and we just start curling downwards. And I think this is just too much drawing, and it kind of feels like it's a little bit overwhelming. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that line. But we do curl. We do curl very hard right here. We stagnate, couldn't break above the 400, and we had this massive break downwards. We just broke through all these levels, had a massive break downwards, and we stopped at, looks like 305.05 and the 395.05. I'm sorry, guys. And it looks like the 395.30 around maybe-ish was a good level to stop at. So we did start trending upwards because we wanted probably to have another retest. Now, we actually fucking took off, which is something I didn't expect, but is something definitely notable. I wouldn't trade the pop, but we only retested the 395.05 once. In my opinion, this is too long for a retest. So looks like we got some volume, and I like to look at candles individually because these have some decent volume within each candle. If the candle has less than 100,000 volume, I usually think as a low volume pop, and I like to trade the opposite way. So if it's let's say the market's trending downwards and we get a low volume pop on a green candle, if it's less than 100,000 volume, I like to trade puts and think that's an opportunity that it's a small pullback and it's going to crash more later. Now we had some decent size within these candles, so honestly I didn't personally trade on this. It looks like we did try to... I made a new level right here for these guys. It looks like the... I don't know why it's not showing me the level it's on. And that's... it's pretty weird. 397.16. So we bounced right here. We consolidated a bit. And we also... looks like we're touching the VWAP. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the VWAP is actually right here along this line. Let's go ahead and get rid of this line real quick. If I can get rid of this line so you guys can see it. I really want you guys to see the VWAP moving. I don't know, but you guys gotta take my word for it. The VWAP's right here, so we're actually bouncing off the VWAP, but we are having 397 as support, and we broke above it. It was pretty good. Look, see this example? You could say this was a curl right here where we stagnated and consolidated for a bit. It looked like it was curling downwards. We had some resistance, couldn't break below it too much and hold. Next candle had some volume to it. We broke above it. You could say even this whole level right here of trading was stagnated. This whole level was consolidating. I'm sorry guys for that. So definitely a lot of opportunity for money to be made here. this sector right here was crazy. I honestly would have thought this was the crash and we would retest the 395 level. I was wrong. So huge crash on the downside, 395. We looked like, I honestly thought we were gonna retest the 394 level. We tested 395. We broke below 395. I honestly could see a descent downwards to 390 because that was the next level, the next $5 increment. You can think about these in $5 increments, or you can think about these in $2 increments. So up to you. I like to think about it in $5 increments personally, because also I'll explain this later. So we did definitely retest the 395 level, and I think yesterday, man, let me go to yesterday's chart. And yesterday we tested the 395 a couple of times. I want to see 395. You know what? I could be wrong. I thought it was yesterday that we tested 395. Apparently I was wrong. But moving on from that, kind of stagnated. So going on to something different, we did try to test 397. It went spiked back up. This is between the levels trading, guys. Now this is something that's very important. As you can see, we try to retest this level. It looks like we're trying to retest the 400 level. We were trying to break above 400. We'd go back below it. Then we try to rally up to 400. We couldn't break below it. And this caught me by surprise. We actually broke into the 400 level. So we're actually 438. Now, in my opinion, we got to see the 401 level break, because that is a very important level. The high of the day was 485. So we are not at the high of day, but we are very damn close to it. As you guys saw, 400 has a lot of resistance on it. There's a lot of bears in the market saying that $400 is a place to sell your stocks. In my opinion, I don't want to buy puts and bet against America. Once again, you guys live, well, I live in America, so I have to deal with this economy in my day-to-day life. Buying puts is essentially betting against the American economy. I don't like to do it. However, it's free money. So how do I think this trade is going to set up for tomorrow? I definitely think the 400 level has a lot of resistance. It's shown a lot of resistance in the past. Yes, we are at 400. Will it hold? I definitely don't think it will. We had a lot of volume today. And definitely going into tomorrow, if we want to see any type of rally tomorrow, we got to keep up the same amount of volume. So if we go to the daily chart, we can actually see how much volume was in today and in yesterday. So yesterday there was about 70 million volume. Today there's about 80 million volume. So if we can pick up to another 80 million in volume, or 90 million, I could even argue that 60 plus million volume would be sufficient enough to have another rally up to the 405 levels. Honestly, I definitely think these candles were strong. I don't have a lot of faith that the 400 level will be broken. So I am swinging puts on this chart. I could be wrong. I definitely think we're due for a retest of the 395 level. We did test it a lot, but we also tested the 400 level equally as an amount. If we do decide tomorrow that we are going to rally, the 400 and the 401 is where I'm going to be definitely looking to see if we can break our resistance. If we break 401, I'm definitely going to be shooting for a 405 test level. My calls are going to be at 405. Now, let's say tomorrow SPY gaps down. SPY goes down to, let's say, 395, 397, right? Anywhere between those two numbers. We definitely could rally to another 400 test. If we don't break 400, then we're definitely going to see a trend downwards to the 490 levels. I say this with a lot of speculation because, once again, these levels don't exactly have to hold true in the market. The market's ever changing. There's a lot of different factors such as news, federal rates, let's say tomorrow the president dies. I have no idea. There's so many things that can affect our economy, and especially yesterday was also a very big factor. Yesterday, Apple had their keynote, the Apple event where they released the iPhone 13. That did wonders for our economy overall. It's crazy how one stock can lead a sector. So if tomorrow Microsoft announces they're having this $2 trillion whatever the fuck they want to say, I don't care. There could be massive news in the market from one stock that could lead the S&P 500 sector on a rally upwards. So I definitely have a lot of speculation when I say there's a lot of downtrend in the market to come. But looking at the levels right now, assuming we don't have much news in the market, I'm definitely going to be looking for a 395 retest level. If we can break 395 and have some sell volume going on the downtrend, I will like to see 390 levels be touched. Anything lower than that is honestly fair game. Once again, we could be looking at 388 past 390 break. On the trend upwards, I'm looking at 400, 401, and then 405. After 405, we could be looking at 407 to 410 or 408 to 410. 410 to 415, 413 in between 410 and 13 and 15. After 415, honestly, a trend upwards to 430 is probably, in my opinion, if you break 415, in my opinion, you're on a trend upwards to 430, testing the high of the year. Or actually, no, that's wrong. Testing the high of the past couple months. Because I think 430 was where our recent candles started to curve. Yeah, 430 is where this started to curve out. And as you see here, the curve method, it's pretty cool right here to see it. As you can see, we start trending upwards, and then we kind of stagnate between these zones, and then curl downwards really hard. We go up here, we stagnate, curl downwards. We curl up here, we stagnate, not much movement, curl downwards. So that's pretty cool to notice about the curl method. The chart nonetheless on the daily. So I definitely would like to see a retest of 395 and then eventually 390, but a trend upwards to 404 or 405 would be very cool. I would love to see the SPY rally to 431. That would do wonders for any stocks that anyone holds. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the market recap. I hope it wasn't too confusing. I definitely hope that you guys take a lot from this video, and you definitely if you have any questions, please feel free to message me, ask in the questions chat. I'm always here to help you. I'm here to only help you, actually. I'd rather you ask me questions than lose money. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm trying a new setup, so let me know what you guys think. I'm stuttering a lot, I'm sorry, and I'm pretty sure the rain outside is getting on your nerves just as much as mine. So without further ado, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.